What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Conversation Piece, the podcast about the missing pieces of the conversations we're already having right here in Indianapolis. My name is Patrick. I'm your host, and I cannot wait to get to this conversation today. My guest today is a man who needs little introduction, so I'm gonna get right to it. He is one of Indianapolis' finest hip-hop artists, and if he ain't Naptown, somebody's lying, and they hating, for sure. He's got one of the best albums of 2024 out right now, too. 33, the album. Go check that out wherever you get your music, and we're going to talk about that as well. It is my honor and privilege to welcome the most legendary himself, FOXD'LEGND, to the show. Fox, how you doing, bro?
Oh, my God. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. That intro was incredible. Caught me up.
You make it easy. You make it easy, man. Like, I got to tell the people, Fox has been on my radar ever since this conversation that we had with Skip way back in February. And we were just talking about it off mic, but that conversation really led me into this renaissance of Naptown hip hop. Mm-hmm. And you've seen it through our conversations with Corey and Dier and Double A. But obviously this is something that means a lot to me. And this entire time I've wanted to be able to sit down with this dude, and it's happening now. So that's why I think I might be a little palms are sweaty, a little nervous, because
it's a pleasure,
this guy really is one of the best out here doing it right now. And again, when I say it's an honor and a privilege, I mean it. So thank you again for taking the time.
Likewise, bro. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So I gave you a little bit of that introduction, but for anybody watching or listening who doesn't know who you are, do you mind sharing just a little bit more about yourself?
Man, well, I'm FOXD'LEGND, like you said. I've been doing it for probably about 6-7 years, seriously, with the performing and the getting out here, mixing up with the people. But I've been doing music close to probably 9 years now.
Okay.
So I do hip hop with a little bit of blending the genres, and just tapping in with the different things that inspired me growing up and stuff.
100%. I want to start with your name, because I talk about being a huge fan, but it was really difficult at first, because when I was trying to search you on Apple Music, I didn't know the correct spelling of the name. So I'm like, everybody's talking about this Fox guy. I keep seeing his name being mentioned in these songs, but why can I not find his music? So can you talk a little bit about how that came together?
Well, I'm big about just putting my foot in the sand and just making a name for myself. I think when it comes to history, anything you do, you want to do it at the top level. You can do it. And I just think being a legend is just something that just is a forever thing. Yep. But when I first started, I actually wanted to create a name that nobody else had, or at least have the spelling of where it's the only thing that comes up when you search it.
Yeah.
And I end up kind of shooting myself in the foot with that, with the spelling. So it's just kind of but we roll with it, and I don't know, the core fans and all the people, they pretty much locked in on it, and it's been like that. So, but it can be a pain a little bit when people are trying to search it with the spelling though.
No, it is so unique though, in a way that I think is resonant with what Indianapolis hip hop is, to me at least. Mm-hmm. I think we are not, what I've seen from the community, it's not just a bunch of recycled parts and pieces and people doing the same thing as everybody else. People are trying to do what you're doing, make a name for themselves. So they're coming up with a 4200 Corey, something that's really specific to them, but something that can stand the test of time, I think. Yep. And a name like FOXD'LEGND, specifically the way it's spelled, I think is something that can carry through with that. And you've been doing it for a decade. And I've seen you perform the last few months now, a couple different times, and the people turn it out and the people know the name. So I think that's the power of it. So a lot of artists, and I think a lot of artists that we've talked to on the show hail from the East Side, particularly the far East Side. And I think we hear a lot about that in the Nap. You come from the West Side. You come from the opposite coast. So I wanted to start there. Can you talk about, for people who may not know, just the differences between the West and East Sides of Nap? You can get into that a little bit. Just from your perspective as a West Sider.
From my perspective, it's just, I think West Side can be a little more laid back. I think it's a smooth side of town. It's finesse. I think the East Side, in a lot of different ways, they can have a chip on their shoulder. It's a little more rugged. But it's really the same things from the West Side. It's really just And really, if you know the history, like you know, you see East Side or West Siders go back and forth. But really, I mean, the city's so small, it's really just a Naptown thing. We got love for them. I think they got love for us, but it's just that unspoken thing. We kind of we bump heads, we go back and forth. But
it's always about like you have the hometown pride essentially, and it's like okay, we have state pride too. We can all be from Indiana. We can all have that city pride. We can all be from Nap. What was that experience growing up on the West Side like for you as a hip hop fan? Were you big into hip hop growing up? Was that something that you were tapped into from a city and a national perspective?
I wasn't really tapped into it. The music that was going on in the city when I was younger, I was more of a basketball kid, just regular stuff, putting cards in the spokes, trying to skid my bike, popping wheelies, just basketball, that type of thing. I was a regular kid. I really wasn't I was always a music fan. I come from a music family. All my family, they sing, and you know, my moms, my uncles, everybody is singing. I come up in church, so I've always been a crazy music fan. Yeah. And my parents, everything from the hip hop all the way to the oldies and Luther Vandross and all type of stuff. So like I've been a music fan, but I didn't get tapped into what the city was doing until maybe late high school, maybe college. I know the G-Freshes, the Maxies, those type of people. Ironically, when I moved to Texas and went to college, I kind of was tapping into what was going on in the city.
That's interesting. Do you remember what was the first thing that like caught your eye and you were like, oh shit, that's from where I'm from?
Probably the video shot in Harville on the West Side. That's my neck of the woods, you know, with G-Fresh and Maxie and that type of thing. It was like on MTV. It was on all type of stuff. Like the history of it is actually, it gets deep. I just wasn't tapped into it at that time.
You went out to Texas, then you're catching on to Naptown hip hop, but you're in another place. Right. So you were out there playing ball?
Yep.
And talk about that experience of being away from home, pursuing your passion at like the highest level. You know, we talk about doing things at the highest level, doing that, but then also having some tethers like with what Maxie's doing, with what's happening on the West Side, with what's happening with Naptown hip hop at that time. What was that experience like, pursuing the passion and then also feeling this pull from home?
It's funny because I actually wasn't pursuing basketball anymore. My mom, she was like, you should just go, you know, get away, do your thing, become a man and that type of thing. She didn't really want me to go to any colleges here in the city or in the state. So I ended up going to Texas. I actually have an uncle that lives out there. But I ended up walking on playing basketball. But, you know, if you ever been that far away from home, you know it's like, man, only thing you want to do is see your family sometime. Or you want to come home for the Thanksgivings or the Christmases and this and that. But I actually had one of my guys, TGIFree, he sent me some of his music he was doing. Actually I think it had Skip featured on some of the stuff. So I just began to dig. I was learning the history of music in Texas and the history of music here at that time, just because, you know, you had downtime and you in between the practices and class and all this stuff. So you constantly on your laptop and doing this and that. So that's just how it kind of, you know what I mean? That's how it happened.
For sure. And Texas itself has a pretty deep hip-hop history.
For sure.
The Chopped and Screwed coming out from there. What was it like learning about both of these histories? Because Indiana is not a city, or Indianapolis specifically, not really thought of as being like, a deep cultural history of hip-hop here. But there has been. And there's a deep-rooted music history here as well. Yeah. What was it like to learn about those two things? And can you speak to any of like the differences between that stood out to you as you were learning?
It's funny to me because I always say it's a lot more similarities to it.
Okay.
Some of this stuff is like more on a major scale when you talk about the Slim Thugs, Trader True, the Zeros, the people that you may not know outwardly, like you may know Beyonce is from Texas or these people. But I did, once I got to digging into it, when it comes to the, like I said, the G-Freshes, the Maxies, the NAPs, when you get to digging in the history of it, it's very much so present. It's just not, it hasn't been publicized to the whole nation how a lot of these other people's have been. You know what I'm saying?
There's a visibility problem.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you could say it's a problem, but I'm just saying it's just the reality of what it is. You know.
Sure. Yeah, that's. I appreciate you calling that in calling that out because I call it a problem as in like, but I don't want it to be taken in the sense that it was like we created a problem to not be doing that. It's just like you said, the reality of the situation is these things are happening, but they happen to be happening in a space where we don't have a major hip hop news outlet.
And I do want to add that I guess if it was a problem, I think the problem is that some people that I see right here in this city are doing it at a level that I'm like, man, you could put him on the track with him, and they gonna hold their own or maybe even do it at a higher level.
100%.
If you ask me my opinion.
I 100% agree with you. I have created a playlist that I've been putting all of my favorite Naptown tracks on there, but then also just cycling in, especially like when the whole Kendrick Drake thing was going on, all of those Kendrick tracks are going on there. But I was listening and like this playlist, I'm like, you could play this in any club or bar or whatever, and you wouldn't realize, this isn't somebody on the mainstream level playing. Because the production is there, like the lyrics, the song crafting is there. And in some respects, especially when I look at like you or Dubs or Corey, like the song craft itself is so different than anything that I think that I see or listen to from a mainstream hip hop perspective. We've talked about it with, I think, everybody in the community that has come on the show so far, but trying to like figure out what's a Naptown sound. And I think for a lot of us, or for not a lot of us, but like trying to define it is almost a impossible task.
It is. I think the sound that they used to have with the Monkey Boy sound and how it used to sound, because even if you look at Maxie then and look at him now, I think you get in two different things. You get some of the same nuances, but it's two totally different artists. He's a different beast now. I think when you look at the best thing about it, what we was just talking about in the hallway, like it's a melting pot. Skip sounds nothing like me. I sound nothing like 42. 42 sounds nothing like Jetty or Free, or it's a lot of different Mula Khan. You know, it's just like choose your flavor. It's really like what you're into. And I've walked in a gang of different shows, showcases, different shows, and I'm like, I didn't even know I like this type of stuff. And here we are, you know. I just think it's a lot of different type of styles you can call it. You know, sounds.
I think what's really interesting about it, we're pulling the hallway conversation onto the mics now, but thinking about who's been influenced by what and trying to pull out and suss out what are the non-hip hop things that are permeating into some of these tracks and albums that are being created, which I really love because I think what's really cool about like Jake with a Shot, Jake Moran, friend of the show, Jake Huber, who we just had on the show, that episode's getting ready to come out. Like, what I love about those guys is how they're fans of the music and of the people, and then they connect all of these they can act as a connector to all of these different pieces and can kind of like place the puzzle together a little bit of the city into the different sounds, because they also go out and work with or film or photograph other genres of music. And like Music in Transit Jake was just doing that with like punk band, I think. Just all different kinds of things. You said, you grew up on all different kinds of music. Hip hop was maybe lower priority. What are some of the influences that specifically that you had at that time that you still draw on now? And what are some things that you are really influenced by now that people might not realize?
Well, for starters, just with my recent album, 33, I named my album 33 for a multitude of reasons. One being one of my good friends, he passed away like a year ago. It was, last year, 2 years ago. And he was actually 33 when he passed away. It's a lot of different significance to the number 33. But musically, Adele, one of my favorite Adele albums is 21. So I was just like, that was cool. Like that was just like a little ode to Adele and that type of thing, being something that's outside of hip hop. But I also really love like Erykah Badu and D'Angelo, and like these are the people. Before shows, it's funny, I actually watched James Brown.
Oh, okay.
And I watched Bob Marley, and I watched the just little stuff, having background. When I first started, I had background singers and stuff like that type of deal. I always, even with the band and stuff, I always wanted to do stuff like a little bit of what Bob Marley doing, a little bit with James Brown. I actually, if you notice, I didn't do it this year, but I Come Out to the Boss by James Brown. Like, it's kind of like my theme song type deal. Yep. I mean, but I've kind of switched it up a little bit, but it's a lot of different Outcasts, it's a lot of different things and different people that I really watch and pay attention to, the Tanks and Jamie Foxx's, and I'm just a talent fan. I met one of my favorite artists. His name is Alan Stone. I don't know if you're familiar with Alan Stone, but he sings, he plays the guitar. That's the type of stuff that really get me going, get me inspired.
Yeah. What's some Alan Stone that we need to be aware of?
He sings a rendition of Bob Marley, Is This Love? He sings a song called Unaware, a song called Circle. You definitely should check him out, though. He's hard. I think he's from Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get into Alan Stone? How does that come about?
YouTube. I think I may have found Alan Stone on World Star. In college, maybe. World Star. Yeah,
all right. That's not where I thought you were about to say.
Yeah, World Star. But his dude, he sounds like a soul singer, but he's like, man, he's a white guy, but he's like blonde hair, blue-eyed. Like, he looks nothing like what he sounds like, so he catch you off guard when you first hear him.
For sure.
But I actually had a chance to meet him at the Vogue. And when I met him, it's funny, he's one of the people, him and J. Cole, by the way, when I met him, they were so, like, inviting and cool. Dude was like, I was like, hey, man, I got to get a picture with you. Like, I sit and watch this dude's videos every day.
Yeah.
And when I met him, it was almost as if he was happy to meet me. And I was like,
damn.
Wow. Like, on a humanity level, that's how I always wanted somebody to have that type of encounter with me. If people was looking up to me in any way, shape, or form, that's the type of interaction I want to have with people.
For sure. I can attest to that because when we really first met for the first time after Streets, you looked at me like we knew each other and were friends. And I was like, damn, dude, that's nice. Because I was like, I'm running up like, who's this random dude? Like, hey, dude, can I do an interview with you real quick? Like, you looked at like we had been friends for 5 years. And I really appreciated that because thank you for sharing what you just shared, because I can see how that translates through. What else do you take from those interactions that you, like, what do you see from those types of things that you hope to emulate in your own work? And how do you hope, and is there a way for, actually, let's just start there. I'm going to start with that question. I got too many questions going on.
Let me start. First off, your name and what you do runs ahead of you too. Sometimes I did know you. Even though we hadn't met, I had already known you. I seen the respect you had for what we do. I seen some interviews before. So when I did see you, I'm actually happy to meet you as well. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
When it comes to, so respect to you and shout out to you. But you could ask the question again. I did want to say that though.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. I guess you would really answer it about like wanting to have a fan come up and have an interaction like that with you, where it's like you are just as happy to meet them as they are to meet you. I was wondering if there were anything else from these interactions with Alan and with J. Cole that you're like, because you are a fan and you're also an artist, like how anything from those interactions, anything else that you are like, this is how I want to inform or want to be informed, like, and how I move, how I navigate, how I create, anything else that you took away from those things, getting to meet some of your favorite people.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to just love and respect. And really what these people showed me, it was a human thing.
Yeah.
It was less about J. Cole, my favorite artist, or these songs that I like. But I'm even more of a fan of you because when I met you, you're dressed like me at the airport. And we're sitting chopping how we are right now. And it's just like, wait, these people are human just like we are.
Right.
And a lot of times you can meet your favorite person and they could turn you completely off. You like, I don't want nothing to do with dude.
For sure.
Or you can meet somebody you like, oh man, not only, am I a fan of your music, but you mean to tell me we could sit and talk about your show you just did it at Purdue or at this and that. So I just feel like even on a human level, just respect to my parents and my grandmother and, the way I was raised, being able to speak to you. When you run up to me after my show, I remember being the person just wanting people to be in my show or
Right.
wanting somebody to hear my music and like what they heard or any of it, just press play. So it's like I haven't lost touch with that either. You know, it's just like I always want to be ground level, the human that can connect with another human
For sure.
over the artist, you know.
Well, again, can attest to that fully. And while we're on the subject of like meeting people who you have a lot of respect for that you're fans of, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the impact of Cairo the artist on your work.
Oh man, that's a great question. First off, me and Cairo started kind of together. You could say Cairo kind of, you know, he's took another route on some life stuff, but he's really a part of everything I do, from the graphic design to the things you see me post. He makes all of it.
Okay.
He'll sit we'll have an idea. We'll sit and go back and forth about how we want this poster to look for the show. Or, you know, who I should line up and put on the lineup with me for shows that we throw. Like, he really has his hand in everything that I've done.
Okay.
Like, he's really like my brother in music. You know?
For sure. That creative partner.
For sure.
Not just a collaborator, but...
It's hard to even say he's so much more than that. You know, he's a godsend. He really is. Like, dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Shout out to Cairo.
For sure.
One of the things that I love about your music, and comes through on 33, but what I realized at your shows was just how community focused it is. One, because you're playing with the band, but two, you bring out the features, like at least three of them, I think, at both of the sets that I saw, which is cool because in a 20-minute set, you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So the fact that you cede some of that real estate to other people, especially in the city, to put on, I think is really incredible. Can you talk about what it's been like to, one, be in Texas, start to learn about Naptown hip hop, then then become a fan, not just a fan, but become part of that scene and to build those relationships?
No, I mean everything to me. Some of these connections that I've made, like you said, I was just a fan of these people. TGIFree's been doing music since before I was doing it. I've always liked what he was doing, and we actually go back to childhood.
Okay.
And, you know, he's doing it at a high level. AA actually put me in a lot of different positions starting out, like put me on stages that maybe I wasn't getting the calls for, and then that just kind of opened a whole lot of different doors for me. So when it comes to what I'm doing now, it's super cool to be able to call a Maxie or call this person or call Jet and just, hey, yeah, man, whatever you know what I mean, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really a cool thing to just be able to brush shoulders with these people. Like I said, people that I may not even ever spoke to. Yeah. You know, but now we actually like our peers and friends and have relationships with these people.
For sure. It makes me think of a lyric in the song You Like, which is a AA song, but AA says, get Fox on the phone, tell him we ain't got to make this money all alone, bro. Yeah. Like, it's just like this it transcends community in a way that becomes family. I talk about found family being adopted, and I have, people have different relationships with words and stuff, but I think of that when I think of this community that you operate in. And again, like I said, that comes through on 33. Yeah. So you gave us a little bit, why the album is titled 33, a little bit of like some of the influence and coming into it musically. Can you tell us a little bit more about this project?
Well, I wanted it to be more like a coming of age story, hence to why the album cover looks like a photo album cover with a piece in the just different things growing up that I and people like me have experienced growing up. Just I think we a lot more similar than we are different. Yeah, for sure. Just the small things like the skit from the wood where what's his name, Mike, touch Alicia booty trying to the bet and the dollar thing. I just think it's just all those little things. All our stories isn't like a gangster movie or like power, like this and that. We go through just regular life experiences. Also, with this album, I wanted to challenge myself to make songs from light, not darkness. If you notice, like my album, Godlike Energy, is probably my favorite album, but I think a lot of those songs were made from a dark place. Okay. With 33, I wanted to make songs like Star Child, stuff I could perform and smile while I'm performing it. Yeah. That type of vibe, Yeah. I wanted to be confident and be light and be, lighthearted and, you know, just this coming of age story to just feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely can feel that. Is there a specific thing, moment, reason that had you go, okay, I want to make this shift. I want to create songs. Like you said, you want to challenge yourself, but like, was there something specific that made you take that leap?
Yeah, well, more so just where I'm at in life. I feel like I have a song, it's called Never Too Far. I've actually like shed tears performing it, but I'm just kind of not in the space no more.
Yeah.
Life is good. My family's good. Day to day, this is a good experience I'm having.
Yeah.
So I really want to lean more into, I think about what, I can't even think of any right now, but I have like a feel-good playlist. And I want some of my songs to be on your feel-good playlist. I want you to get ready to this. I want you to ride to it when the sun is out and just feel great about what the day might bring. You know,
100%.
I want some of those in my catalog, not just the ones that is the mood music and you like, dang, I'm going through this thing and dang, it's a dark place and it kind of keeps me in a dark place. I had to change some of the music I was listening to because some of my favorite J. Cole and even Kendrick songs, like I love Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I love this album. It's incredible. And I thought it was crazy that he made an album for him, but I couldn't listen to it. I'm like, God, it makes me feel it's dark. You know, it's like I can't live there every day.
For sure.
So it's like I've changed my playlist to more like motivating music, more things that align with where I'm at in life right now, you know?
100%. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that because I think can be so difficult to move from one of those places to another, and especially out of the dark and into the light, or even towards it, because right now I feel like there's a lot of things that can pull us in. It's easy to get to scrolling on stuff and go down rabbit holes that don't lead you towards anywhere that remotely positive. But it's not even your fault of trying to go that way. It's just the reality of the situation where we're just being fed what happens to be tangentially related. And we get stuck there. And so I appreciate you sharing that journey of moving from the dark to the light, wanting to be intentional and conscious about that decision. And again, like I said, I think that radiates through on the album itself. I wanted to ask you, I thought there's a little melody that you hit at the end of the second verse on Groove Potion 2. I really like. I wanted to ask that if there was anything that you're particularly proud of on this album from an artist's perspective, like something that you added to your bag that you hadn't done before. Now that I know that you come from a singing family, I'm like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But like, was there anything else that you were like, ooh, this is something that I have never tried before that I did and I'm really proud of, that maybe nobody is like, oh yeah, Fox, I didn't realize that was something that he was doing.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually hinted at that because for a while, I've been trying to steer the car more toward the melodic sound and the more, I think the most purest form of music is singing a song.
Sure.
Me personally.
I would agree.
Yeah, the most beautiful song you've ever heard is, I don't even know, but somebody was probably singing this song. And particularly might have been even a higher frequency. It might have been a woman more so. But what I'm getting at is I've been leaning more toward I don't even really like dropping names, but like the Anderson Package, Smino sound over the...
Oh, I love Smino.
Yeah, over those, you know what I mean, Sabas and all that different type of stuff. So I just been trying, it's kind of hard when you don't have the right production or this and that, you know, when you can kind of get in this box and people are trying to like get you to do stuff that you've already done, but it's kind of like, I've been trying to steer the car more that way, trying to just create in different realms and just be more free in how I create, you know, using your voice however you see fit, you know, with no limitations on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you say that this is the most free you've been on any album?
It's a tight fight between this and God, like for sure.
Well, maybe it's just different.
Yeah, it's extremely different.
Yeah.
I feel like every project has been different, but this was definitely free. This is definitely like one of the things that I feel like I just created without trying to cater to what people really wanted. It was more so like, this feel good. I'm going with it.
What do you like? What are you really wanting to?
At this moment, at this moment, just at the time I was creating it, where my mind and headspace was, that's just what it was. That's just that timestamp for that.
I love that. I love because that's another hard thing too, is to just capture something for what it is in that time frame and not let the past or the future leak into it and make it be something that it's not supposed to be.
For sure.
100%. Another thing that I really loved, particularly about just you in general as an artist, but on this album, like you said, you went to that more positive place. You were trying to come from that more positive place. I felt like a lot of the songwriting and lyrics that you were dropping were particularly vulnerable. In the outro, you have a line, you say, we're way too close for the secrets.
Yeah.
And you talked about this being the album 33 because one of your close friends just passed away at 33. The album's also bookended by those two voicemail or those two song intro and outros talking about this is my truth. This is me living in my truth. I was wondering if you could share I think when we associate vulnerability, we associate it with darkness sometimes. So to think about God as being that's the vulnerable place, I can totally see that. And I think we are vulnerable when we're coming from those positive places. Yeah. So I was just wondering if you could talk about what it means to tap into that vulnerableness when you are crafting or writing a song.
I think it's actually when I first started writing period, before I was writing music, I was just jotting out my thoughts.
Okay.
Like a diary or
like a journal or something.
Kind of like journaling. So I think when it comes to music, that's actually the easiest place for me to write from, because that's just the most truest, most realest part of myself.
Sure.
So I may make a song that's like Steppin' For Real, but I'm thinking about what's out now. What will people like? Oh, this frequency make me want to move. Yeah. This and that. But when I'm coming with like a 33 to outro, it's more so that's really just me.
Sure.
That's I still can't believe we lost Vince. I wasn't there when you need me. Oh, Lord. It's like those lines are like, that's my true feeling behind this. And he actually passed away by drowning. So I just felt like it's a lot of things that go unsaid. We way too close for the secrets. Right. It's a lot of things, life is short. It's just a lot of things go unsaid. Like, we may not be here tomorrow. Right. And it's just like, what do I want to say in this moment? What am I feeling, and just create. And don't worry about, like I said, once again, don't worry about what people are going to think of this thing. Right. Because I think that's where we start to taint our idea. Yeah. We start to water it down. Every time I think, well, Patrick like this, so maybe maybe I shouldn't I'm going to change it to this. You diluting your idea. Right. You diluting it every time, so. I
appreciate that. So in that same vein, and not wanting to like tell people what they should think, but what does FOXD'LEGND hope people walk away with from 33? Like, this message is for you. This album is for you. You created it for yourself. Yeah. And as an artist, this art is now widely available for everyone in the world to hear. Yeah. People are going to take away with it what they will, without trying to wade into that dilution. And maybe it's not possible for us to dilute in that way. Yep. But is there something that you hope people to walk away with from the album?
Not anything really specific. I think I want people to just take whatever it means to you, whether you like it, don't like it, or if it's for you, not for you. Whatever it is fine. Okay. Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, of course, we want people to like it or, this and that. But at the end of the day, if this story on this song means this to you, that's fine. If this made you think of this loved one or this situation, all of that's fine. Yeah, I think really music is just thought-provoking. Or sometimes it's just a feeling. Maybe that song just feel good to you. For whatever reason, it feel good to you. And that's okay with me too. Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Jet as well, and a lot of Jet's music is it's just a vibe. It's a bop.
Shout out Jet.
Yeah,
shout out
he's
Jet.
Dope.
He's super
come
talented.
on the show. I know I cornered you about her and told you to come on the show, but come on the show.
Let's make that call. Let's make that call.
I'm gonna have to get you free and Jet all on one.
Let's do it.
You've been also, in addition to the album, you've been at a lot of events recently. We saw you at Butter. You were at Shreese, just to name a couple of things, but you've been going to a lot of places. I wanted to just ask about your live set process. When it comes to setting up playlist that you want to go with and how you're going to be like, okay, I need the band, I need the backup singers. Like seeing you with the band, that's dope. Like that's like, if I were to do something live in music, that would be it. I want the band to be there. What's Fox's process to creating this live set?
Well, I think initially the music is incredible. We do the best we can to make the music the best it can be, offer it. I think everybody likes chicken. I look at it like the music is the chicken, the band is the seasoning, and the hot sauce. This is where we get to spice this thing up, you know. And also, I actually really am close with my DJ. Like my DJ, J Diff, he's one of the people who was playing my music initially. My first project, he was like, I believe in this dude. He purchased a CD, he did this and that. And he's been telling people and kind of, this is way before he had any connection to me. Yeah. So he's just kind of near and dear. Like he's one of them people I latch on to. Yep. And really, I always say he's the quarterback. I'm the running back. I'm Edgerrin James. He's Peyton. So sometimes if we on stage, he might drop something. And I'm like, well, this what we doing. You know? So
okay, that's cool. Yeah, like he could just throw a random one at you.
He's done it a few times.
And you trust, and that's such enough trust to be like, I can do this.
He's a master of the crowd.
Okay.
So we play positions. That's his position. Kmart on the drums, he's the heartbeat. You know, when it comes to these drums, when he get to chopping, I always know the song he like. Yeah. Because he just played that one different. I'm like, this dude, okay, it's one of those. Yeah. And he takes it up. He watches me when I'm on stage. If I take it up, he take it up. If we mellow, like, we just locked in. My guy Rick as well, he on the bass. He came along a little later, but we've been locked in and he's the groove, you know? Yeah. So I just feel something different. Yeah. When I got that band up there with me, it's more so just like, it's a sound, it's a feeling, it's an experience. I feel like you got the thing where you get up here and you got the mic and you could do your thing. Yeah. Just the music. We could just rock out, just the music. But when you got this band, now we creating an experience. That's when we giving it to the people. I'm thinking about what the people are going to hear now. Because the music, this is mine. This is already my baby. Right. I can get up here and do my thing and you can like it or dislike it. Cool. But when I'm trying to provide an experience for the people, that's when I'm like, okay, this is how we gonna do. That's what all the rehearsing is for. This is the transition. This is how we gonna play the theme song and y'all gonna go out before me and then we gonna go like this. You know, so but that just goes back to watching great performers, Erykah Badu and D'Angelo and Kendrick Lamar and all these. It goes to just being a student of it too, just trying stuff. Yeah, we don't know. You know, you don't know the thing that's gonna really work, but you tried, and the stuff that does work, and you take a little from here, a little from that, and a little from that. Yeah,
I love that you play with a band, and I love that you just broke it down in that way. But I love that because now that you've explained it, I can see that those little things that people don't notice, those little interactions between band members.
You was on the side of the stage too, so it's a lot that you can catch. Just
the looks. Exactly, that's the Peyton Marvin Harrison.
We're not saying anything. Yeah, it's just he can look a certain way or this. Okay. But the crowd, they're experiencing the music. Exactly. Just face value. We just here to have a good time. Exactly. You know, I'm just here to enjoy it. They don't care if you missed that word or if this and that or we skipped this song and went to that one just because the energy was already here. 100%. So it's like but that's I think the biggest thing about performing to me, somewhere along the way, I just let the moments happen. Yeah. Like I think you get to that point in the set and it's like, I got them. Or the thing you like, this is happening, and whatever that thing is, roll with it. Yeah. You know, you go back to the video, you might be like, oh, don't do that no more. Sure. But at the end of the day, though, it's about the experience. I think the live thing is about the experience. It's not about being perfect. Right. I used to try to be perfect.
Well, it's in that moment. Can you be present in the moment and roll with something that might be a flaw? That what I learned when I was dabbling and performing was like, they're not going to notice that that's a flaw. Only you're going to notice that you got to
let them know. Yeah. You have to let them know that something's going wrong. Mayday.
Exactly.
A facial expression, something that's not quite right. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we just here to enjoy the show.
100%.
So we don't really care what's this, what's that. We just here for the show. We enjoying it.
I love it. That's why I record my show so I can flub all I want and then we just edit it right out. I think that's something, so as we kind of wind down in this back half of the conversation, I think that's something that I've noticed, especially now being able to get to some of these shows and see people perform.
Mm-hmm.
We got some dope performing artists here.
Killers,
like it's not just like we make good music. It's like when you put a show on, like it is like you could be performing this at a stadium for 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Or you can do it in a crowd for 100. Like when I saw Corey for the first time, I was like, damn. And it's like, here's the thing. The same with Free, the same with Jet, the same with you. I haven't seen Double A yet. I got to see him. I'm sure it's like that with Mukan.
You haven't seen Double A?
No, I haven't yet. I'm mad.
And Double A, I'm going to let you keep going.
The only thing I was going to say is just that the performances are out of this world. Like I was not prepared for how incredible the performances were going to be. And I think that's something that a lot of people outside of even the city, or maybe even in the city, but especially outside the city and state, aren't aware of. And so I want to ask you, as somebody who's 10 years on now, who's been a student of the history of not just Naptown hip hop, but you've been to Texas, you've taken it a lot of it. Student of not just that game, but the music game in general. Like, what do you think, from your perspective, is something that Indianapolis hip hop, I want to figure out how I want to ask this question, because I don't want to say we need to do it better. What's something that's missing from this community that could help amplify it, help take it to the next level? Is it something that we're missing? Is it something the people outside of the city or the people outside of this community are missing? Is there something that we need to be addressing that we could address to take Naptown from just being a household name to being a national name in that way?
Sadly, I would say opportunities, and just not only just opportunities on this scale, but just major opportunities. I think if you go to a place like New York, or you blow up in a place like LA or Atlanta, the opportunity's already there.
Right.
The people who might be in the crowd that night might be looking for the next or this and that, or want to include this in a film that they're working on that's here. And what's local to them is already on the mass scale.
Okay, so opportunity even outside of just music.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I see.
Yeah, and even, you have record labels in these places. You have all these, I think, just boil down to different opportunities, different major players that are right here, accessibility, visibility. Yeah. Just all these things just amplified times 20, times 50, times 100. That's more so. I think that's all that's missing. When it comes to the talent pool, this is the biggest untapped diamond that I've ever seen. And I've actually been to other places, the Atlantas, to other Chicagos, and I had people come from these other major cities to here, and they're like, oh shit, this is what's going on? Yeah. This is, this person, that. And it's not just one. Right. It's him, her, him too. And it's just like, I think once it is visible, once people, and I think somebody got to make it a believer. Like, somebody has to do it, and then it'll make everybody a believer. Right. Kind of take that one breakthrough. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I guess, again, like I told you out there, I'm in my own personal renaissance of catching up to everybody's who has 10 years worth of music. But what's really cool is everybody's still putting stuff out, and there's a bunch of new people coming up, putting out really cool stuff. My worry, and this is the worry for a bunch of young people, is like, people are going to leave. And how do we retain people? Because our opportunities aren't bountiful enough right now for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's the opportunity is not bountiful enough, or it's the people that have access to the opportunity are not providing accessibility to said opportunity. Well, you saying it, you saying all the right things. I think really you can't say that somebody is right or wrong for leaving or staying, Right. It's really just a preference thing, and I feel like it's only a matter of time. But I also feel like we've been saying that for a little time now. For sure. And it's like we don't know the future, but I do know that people are doing it at a high level. I know I've watched people like Jake come along, and the same reactions. I always say, who's to say that the way the city gravitates to this album or this artist or this person, who's to say if a million people were tapped into what this person's doing, that they don't have the same reaction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You stood in the crowd, you stood at the side, you talked to people face value, and I don't know exactly what your reaction is, but who's to say people won't feel exactly the way you feel about it?
Right.
You know, and it's like, what? How, why didn't I know? Why am I new to this? It's this untapped thing.
Yeah.
And I do feel like we do have to continue to do it at a high level to where when you do press play, no matter who it is,
right,
it sounds like this, it's at a certain level, it's the mixing is a certain level, the lyricism, the song, the execution has to be at a high level because we don't really have that margin for error. Me personally, I don't think we have that room for error to where somebody's like, Frisbee. We don't really have that because I'm just saying, you know, we already at a point where we struggling to even get people to press play or get that first initial person to walk into that. Oh, okay, Pat, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. Let's see what they can do. Right. I can't afford for you to come in there and see some BS that you don't want to come back for. Right. So that's just how I feel about it personally.
No, I 100% agree because I feel like I'm in a similar place with the podcast. Yeah. So like I have to, one, I'm not going to show up to a conversation and not have done at least some of my homework. I'm going to do all the homework.
Come on.
But I have to do that because I'm in a place right now where I can't afford to miss more than I hit. I got to be hitting. And so what's going to hit for me is having a great conversation and having great people that I work with who can help make it and sound and look in a way that people are going to be like, the million eyeballs could potentially see and take us to that next level. And so like, I totally get where you're coming from. And I don't know, I'm just like thinking about, now I'm just like, okay, let's just sit here and ideate on how we generate some more of these opportunities, but we obviously don't have enough time to do all of that. What is somebody asks you like, why do you need to tap into this Naptown hip hop scene? What's FOXD'LEGND's answer to that person?
It's, like I said, it's one of the most untapped diamonds you'll ever find. I've found things and people have exposed me to things that I didn't know I liked. That's crazy. Like of course you know the things you hear on the radio and things like that. You know you like this and that, but it's a big melting pot and it's a lot to indulge in. You know, it's a lot to like. You may dislike some, but it's so many different styles and different, sounds that you can get from right here. And I think it's right up under people's nose and they don't even know it.
Right. Yeah. Right in the backyard.
For sure.
100%. We got a couple more questions, and I just want to say first before we get to them, I really appreciate you sharing all of this. For sure. And we're going to have multiple parts to this conversation, I think, because there are a lot more things I want to tap in with you with. Sure. We do have a recurring segment on the show, and we talked a lot about community, talked a lot about working together and collaboration. A segment on the show called Give Them Their Flowers, where we ask our guests to name a person or persons that they feel deserve their flowers at this point in time. So I just want to ask you, Fox, who do you want to give their flowers to today?
Man, we talking musically?
Whoever in your life that you're like, that person deserves this flower right now.
Oh, man, it's so many of them. Give me a second. So, first off, I think Jet Santiago, it's funny, we had our first show ever together. Jet took his own route, I took my own route, but what he's been doing this past year is nothing short of amazing. You know what I mean? I think, and just staying down and staying grounded and just the continuous work. Yeah. The improvement you've seen, and you may not even seen him and like how visible he's been now, but he's been a killer. Yeah. Same with TGIFree. I feel like TGIFree, the work is undeniable. The Juicies, I think it's a lot of people who aren't necessarily new, but they're having new success. Yeah. And it's just undeniable. Like it's undeniable. Shout out to Jay Brookinz. Great dude. These people, they always, just pour into me. Oreo. people with Shreese, you know, the people who do the gang stuff, you know, Alan and Molly. I just think it's a lot of good people doing a lot of great things, you know. Man, I could sit and name 1,000 people. I love what Maxie's doing. You know how he's been able to transcend through the music and out his trunk. Now he's on Mass Ave and doing what he's doing. Like, we got a mural outside, you know. It's a lot of people doing a lot of things, and I think a lot of people deserve their flowers. We'd be out here all day if I keep thinking of people.
We're going to have one of those episodes where it's just we all just are celebrating each other.
Oh, we definitely should do
event,
that.
actually. All right.
We should definitely do that.
I was already talking to Corey about, never mind. This is for off air. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to Madeline McKinnon, Frida's Flowers, for sponsoring the segment and sponsoring the show. This has been an incredible conversation. I have so many, I think, other questions that I want to get into. And unfortunately, as we come up on time, I'm not going to be able to do that. So as we exit, I have 2 more questions for you. What is next for you right now? Like, where are you going? What's coming up after 33? What do you have at the moment?
I never necessarily stop creating, like, ever. But I go through these periods where I'm kind of like, I'm not creating toward an album or a project or any of that. I try to just freelance it. Here's the canvas. Let's just start. Let's see where this is going. So I'm constantly doing that. I have a list of artists that I actually want to work with that I've been writing down. I got some other things in the works. I don't really want to. This like my own little manifestation stuff. But some things in 2025, I think it's just the sky's the limit. You know, just continuing to try to push myself to do things that I haven't done. You know, and even this is cool. Like I want to do more of this. I want to get in front of the camera. I want to talk. One of my guys, he always said, like, you need to show people, talk, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Vlog, to show them your personality, you know, just...
Yeah, start a podcast, dude.
Thing. I don't know about that. But I'm going to leave that one to you, but...
I appreciate that. I got a lot of competition in the city already. People would be listening to you for sure. Before I ask you this last question, I just want to say this. I really appreciate this, like, place that you're in and this ability to be present and like this ability to be like allowed to live in the multiplicity of like people can love it, they can hate it, but they can do their thing and being okay with that. Like, I think that's a place I'm trying to find myself in at all times now and trying to live and lean into. And it's a place that I think just in general, we would be better for as humanity. Just being able to get to this place of allowing people to live their lives and not feeling like we have to tell them how to live, but accepting them for how it is, however it is.
And moving accordingly.
Exactly. Exactly. So I just want to say I appreciate just the aura and presence and the way that you're navigating life right now, because it's a big impact on me and I see it. I see this new or this different way that you're moving, and I appreciate it, and I think other people are appreciating it too.
Man.
Last but not least, how do we 33 out everywhere you get your music, but how else do we find you? How else do we follow you, support you? How do we do all the things that you need us to do for FOXD'LEGND after this?
Well, I'm FOXD'LEGND. I know it's hard to spell, but it's FOXD'LEGND. No second E. So, yeah. You could follow me anywhere, Twitter, Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's a deep dive once you find me and you get to going into music, and all of it's appreciated, man. I'm appreciative to even have fans, people who listen to it, supporters. These opportunities that come, you know, I'm just appreciative. For sure. We'll have all of those things linked in the show notes for people to find. We'll get that spelling all correct as well. Don't forget the apostrophe when you're actually spelling it out, people. Make sure. But Fox, thank you so much for taking this time to sit down and have this conversation. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Everybody else, episodes drop Tuesdays, wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. Go to the website, Conversation Peace Pod, for merch stuff, for archives, and for everything else about the show, especially the newsletter. And follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Conversation Peace Pod. We got some really cool conversations to close out this year. We have one big announcement about a potential live show that you can come to that I think we have going on. Don't worry about it. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. But until then, this has been FOXD'LEGND. I've been Patrick Armstrong. This has been Conversation Peace. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.